Max Radio, back again. We're here. Shout out Dipcatcher, Gold Key, and all the builders in this community. Somebody asked for nothing and give pretty much everything. We're back. I want to do an RHMA because I had a topic I want to talk about the other day, and I didn't get to, so I thought I'd come on here for about 20 minutes, talk to you all about Richard Hart and the Chad just in time has entered the chat. What's happening, man? Welcome. Any questions about Richard, Hex, PulseChain, whatever you got, get them in here. If they're not too insane, I will answer them. I was just looking at easier scan numbers here. Anyone know the website that shows a chart? So I can see the chart of holders and distribution, but I was looking for the website that showed the growth. Was that just on Coinbase or something? 330,000 holders. Second. I know there was something on other website that was really good before too. Yeah, Bloxy had something too. Just a minute, I'll share my screen. Show you guys what I'm talking about. Yeah, that Bloxy had some pretty good. Apparently, it's not loading for Hex on there. I was like, turn it off or what? But, anyways, where are the stats at? Let's go to stats.com. Just want to look at the holders. Dave down under. Still got hope we're going to move upwards the bull run. I do too, sir. I do too. I have a lot of hopes. And I mean, the thing's designed pretty well, designed to appreciate, as we've said before, right? As Richard has talked about as well. So, and I don't know. I don't know what's the alternative? How about this for a minute too? What are some pros to staying in the community and just not just leaving, not just click? So I love the way our friend Tommy talks about it too. He says, if you can't handle the volatility, click sell and stop annoying the rest of us. I love the way he says it because it's so simple, so to the point, very concise, and it really hits at all the points. It really hits at crypto was invented for a reason. It's a new asset class, relatively speaking, in the grand scheme of all of finance. Volatility is a feature, not a bug. It can be, at least. And the people who are buying tops and selling bottoms are giving it to the people who are buying bottoms, selling tops. It's like Richard said in the documentary as well last night. So the whole notion that people feel scammed or ripped off or whatever because they buy the top of something and it goes down, it certainly doesn't feel good. But I never would call myself a victim. I would never call something a scam just because it went down in price. I think it is really, as crypto is different. There's probably some better analogies too of other things in the world as well. But crypto is one of those things where it literally is different than most things out there. And you can make a lot of money and you can lose a lot of money. So treating it as if putting those same expectations, which we don't do, right? Put those expectations that we're just going to put money in and we're going to roll the roulette wheel, and just because it takes a long time for it to go down or a long time for it to go up or whatever happens, whatever you're thinking is going to happen and you don't get it, I don't know. I just can't. That just doesn't make me want to say the thing is not working. So staying. Let's go to this real quick. I got a few pros and cons. I was thinking this other day. I was taking a drive and I started writing down. Pulled over to send myself some notes because I want to talk about this at some point. Pros and staying. If this thing goes to the moon again, we already did 10,000x, all that stuff. Look it up. It's well documented, all the stats and all that. It will be legendary. Legendary. True sense of the word. And legendary things happen. Legendary doesn't mean unlikely. It doesn't mean hard to achieve. It just means it'll be epic. there'll be some glory there. So aren't you glad you got a founder that's fully aligned for glory, right? Team win. You're on team win, even in the bear market. I mean, what other community makes all this content, all these websites, builds all these products, puts all this capital because they believe? They may believe through data. They may believe through their heart. Doesn't matter. They believe. That's why they're here. It can be part of a movement. I think literally freedom of speech, freedom of movement, all the ideals that the Richard stands for. Own your own, keep your own keys, not getting rid of middleman, getting rich, being the best version of yourself, all that stuff. I think that's one thing about the documentary too, that it kind of illustrated through hexagons and describing all this stuff too, was this really is a movement. It is more than, to me, it is more than a capitalist play. Of course, most of us here are primarily here and spending our blood, sweat, and tears in order to benefit monetarily. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. However, that's not the only reason why I'm here, at least. And I don't think I'm the only one like that. Maybe people don't talk about it as much or otherwise, or maybe they talk about it more than they do, things that are investing in their own well-being and their benefit. But I think the ideals behind this community are so strong that it literally is a movement to keep crypto free, keep the freedom in crypto, and to not reward products and corporations, things like that, for enabling people to lose all their money and making mistakes like that, and kind of giving them the product for free. I love the way Alex Hormozy talks about, it's like give people a super valuable thing, either for free or do it cheaper than everyone else, or just give it away. You can just give it away and do it better than the paid versions, right? So I like to think about, I think there's an analogy with Hex there too, where it's like we have this great product and you don't need to pay a subscription for it, none of that. You just need to turn, your coins into this other coin, use the system as intended, and it works flawlessly. T-shirt rate goes up and to the right forever, all that stuff. So it's just one of those beautiful things. I really think it's part of a movement, and I don't think I would be creating much content, spending much time here, doing 2 streams a day sometimes, if I didn't feel like my ideals, my efforts were going towards something other than maybe hoping the price goes up based on some impact I may have or not. It's not what gets me on stream every day, when I do it. And the other point, where are you going to go? Where else? Where is better? You going to go to Bitcoin? You're going to go to the baby games? You're going to go to Ethereum? Not so much green pastures over there from what I've seen so far. You're going to go roll the dice in some other network or ICO or whatever? I don't know. I like to stick around communities that share a lot of the same ideals and have the products that literally do what I'm looking to do. I'm looking for yield. Hex manufactures yield. It's just one of those things. It's pretty cool. What's up, Stefan? If you'd like to like and share, feel free to do that. I support that message. What's up, Bobby Hexelrod? How's it going? Random Mycosa question. You think the new version, once released, can help Mycosa price? I have not dived deep enough in that to even think about it, man. I don't know. I'm certainly going to have some conversations about that coming up, and I'm going to invite the actual ICOS and Hedron experts on the show to talk about it. Maybe, I got Dev Huey coming on Wednesday. If you can catch that stream, come back and ask that question too, or at me on Twitter or something too, because he's going to be going over Hex model, and he is really deep into the stats for that, and I'm sure he's probably can better understand the game theory at this point. And we don't have a lot of details. So even for me to try to grok on it, it's kind of hard right now. I'm kind of waiting for more details, but it doesn't sound bearish. I'll say that. I'll say that the ICOSA, the changes, the marketplace, the new staking incentives, I mean, they look like changes that are for the better. So I think in general, I'm bullish on the Hedron ecosystem, especially with these with the V2 coming up. Very, very cool. As far as price goes, I mean, I think the best thing to help the price is people buying. And when there's volatility, when these macro conditions like this, when there's FUD, people don't buy as much. So there you go. If you believe, just go back to fundamentals for a minute too. If you believe, like, why I think I tweeted about this a while back. Investing is, to me, is one of those things where one of the main principles of it is, if you buy something, you are saying, implicitly saying, or I'm saying, when I buy something, I'll say it like this again. I like to talk about me and what I think, or what I've heard other people do, instead of giving advice or talking about you or otherwise. So if I buy something, I believe I am earlier than the next person who's buying it. And I believe they're going to pay more eventually based on a time horizon of when I want to take profits from my buy, aka selling, or taking profits any other way. There's not only selling, it can be borrowing, it could be lending, it could be leverage, it could be collateral. There's all these other instruments as well. But in general, just to make it simple, selling. So, for example, if I was going to buy ICOSA right now, or if I was going to buy Hex right now, so I'm going to buy PulseChain right now, I'm betting based on whatever data I have available, or whatever things I feel. It doesn't have to be based on data. It can be based on feelings, whatever it is, whatever you're basing your decision on, whatever I'm basing my decision on. I'm betting that it will eventually go up, and someone else will want to take it off my hands for a higher price. I mean, that's kind of one way I explain the way I think about a lot of these coins, investing in crypto and all that stuff. So if you're investing in Bitcoin at this point, like, you're not super early, but you also see all the corporations, all the stuff. You see everyone, getting in, right? So you think, wow, at least it's legitimate now. Maybe it won't go to zero. And if these markets play out like the other markets, then hey, maybe I can make 1%. Maybe I can double my money, whatever it is. So, and same thing with stocks and all these other things too. Crypto is just the asset class that has the most volatility right now. That's, the most popular, has most volatility. Those two things neck and neck. So when you're asking about, will the price go up in general, you have data that you base that on. You have your own thesis. You have your own timeline. You have your own capital, all these variables you work with. So when I'm thinking about it, that's literally how I'm coming to a conclusion, whether to hodl, whether to buy, whether to sell is, I mean, if you need money or whatever, a lot of people are selling just because, hey, it's bad economic conditions. I'm just speculating here. I think a lot of people are selling because bad economic conditions, they need money, they're losing faith in the ecosystem, whatever it is. So that's a whole other reason to sell. But to buy something, when I buy something, I think that I'm getting a deal, or it's going to go up so much that the deal, that may not even look like a deal now, but I think it'll look like a deal later. And it may even look like a deal later to other people who are buying at the higher price after I've met my conditions for sale. So whether I'm selling in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 15 years, that's all based into the model. So there you go. That's hopefully that's a halfway satisfying answer. So I'm not really talking about price predictions or specifics around that. PulseX, what's happening, Paul? Does anything in crypto feel hopeful without knowledge gained from being on Hexkins? I would think I would leave crypto if I sold out. Interesting question there. Yeah, I'm just going to ask myself the question, would I still be in crypto if it wasn't for Hex and PulseChain and Richard doing all this stuff? I don't know. Like, maybe I'd do a startup or something. I would be in some like high risk, high reward business. I think crypto attracts a lot of people who have high ambitions or are okay with volatile conditions and believe in something bigger, so they're willing to not wait it out for 50 years on baby gains. So if crypto's easy, we all be doing it. Yeah, that's another key point. People always like, it's wise. Why can I never get it right? Welcome to the party. Most people don't get it right. Leaving meat on the bones for those who do. So all you can do is be your best. Do your best to not be the X liquidity and to be the ones who are performing better than others. And boy, I got to tell you, looking at crypto the last few years, a lot of people you can outperform. There's a lot of people who stand. I don't know. I meet people sometimes and I think, wow, not even crypto. I hear people talk about stocks sometimes. They'll be trading on their phone or whatever. And they'll be like, hey, I've got, I used to have 10 or 20 stocks of XYZ and now I got like 1 or 2. I wonder if I should sell the rest or hold on to them. I'm like, what? Tell me. I can't even top of my head come up with your investment plan from that. Like, at best, you're going to make a little bit of money. At worst, you're going to sell at a loss later on when you get tired of it. So isn't that just gambling? Isn't that just pure speculation? Like, that's not. So people in crypto, the explosion of the NFT bros has been pretty crazy. And I don't know, maybe some of them are like some of the smartest ones will ever be in crypto, but I don't know. Not hating on NFTs. I'm just saying, I'm not sure the JPEGs attract the brightest bunch. So they still maybe hope for us. They may attract a lot of other people who are, and the memes too. Like I said, there's a lot of games at crypto, man. That's a lot of games. And I guess my point of saying this all would be, you might have a chance. I think we have a chance. I think in general, in this community, especially the values we have and the products we're seeing getting built. I don't know. I'm not hating on any meme coins or NFTs or anything, but I really like the trajectory of the products being built in our community. So I'll say that. Likelihood of crypto charge greater than 50%. Well, that's an opinion. And even if they are, those would be allegations, and the burden of proof would be on the the people charging Richard for that stuff. So even if they were, it's not like it happened and then he just automatically like disappears and goes to do this horrible payment for all the crimes he didn't commit. So 50% really. I don't even know what percentage I would put on it, but it doesn't matter because he's innocent. Like it's not even about. I watched the rags to riches. What's up in Berto, by the way? PulseChain up 20% day. Yeah, green candles, man. Green candles. I haven't seen those for a while. I was watching the rags interview with SEC lawyer, and very interesting. I mean, not that I agree with him on a lot of the stuff. I think it's, if you watch it, be careful. If you watch it, you may be like, oh crap, like it may give you anxiety or make you worry or whatever. But you got to take it, to me, again, don't give advice. I take it with a grain of salt when I listen to it. I listen to the factual stuff, the process stuff he talks about, but he really paints this picture of like all these things that could happen. And it's talking about how the government's got unlimited money. And I'm like, ooh, Richard's got unlimited money too. So I'm not too afraid that Richard can't defend himself properly. I'm sure he's got one of the best legal teams money could buy, I could imagine, especially throughout the years. I'm sure he's had to deal with all kinds of, not problems, but I'm sure he's had, I could imagine he's had to come up with very creative solutions to many, many things going on in his life. Being a rich person, like, you have to deal with a lot of stuff, again, I imagine. So yeah, I got confidence in that. I'm not afraid of that. Not afraid of that at all. I literally, I've speculated too, maybe Richard saw this coming and he's like, you know what? This is my, maybe I will be the guy that takes on everything head first. And just, I will be the one who force this change. I'll force them to stop bullying everyone in crypto. I'll get people to rally behind me because of these beliefs and ideals that I hold true, that are good and healthy for the ecosystem. Maybe. I mean, isn't that what heroes do? Isn't that what people in it for glory do? Genius billionaire takes on SEC and wins. Doesn't that sound like a story that you could see? I could see that. Just gotta have a little bit of imagination, right? Like, I'm much more clear imagining that than any other imaginary horrible, you know. That by Hexrod, it was rich performance that moved me watching him during most volatility of the intact. Yeah, man, he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing, and boy, I think anyone who goes against him has their work cut out for them. And he's a winner. So I think winners win. Keeper's Wave. Martin of Fall, flooded Hex, Oblivion, criminal charge with criminal charge allegations. Yeah, I'm sure I don't know anything about that. I don't listen to Spaces. I don't really participate in Spaces, honestly, that much because I like creating content on YouTube, and Spaces is kind of hard to do that. You know, I try to do open mics, which are kind of like Twitter Spaces, but, you know, record on YouTube, all that. Anyways, I'm sure there's plenty of people who said plenty of things that are unfavorable, but I don't really think a lot of it matters. I think once we see Richard talk about it, fight it, respond to it, whatever it is, those are the things that actually matter. So that's what I would be paying attention to. That's what I will be paying attention to. Hexagon Hero, I like that name. Gordon Gecko in the avatar. That lawyer was trying to FUD and buy low. You can tell because he didn't try to play the fence. Good luck, play both sides. I haven't finished watching it yet, but definitely the first half or so, I was like, any good news, man? I think I did stop when he was talking about how the defense could go. So I'm very interested in that. So I have to watch the rest of it. But he is a PulseChain validator. So he mentioned a couple times he's part of the community. So that's cool. It's glad to have lawyers and stuff and getting their opinion here, whether we like the way that he's talking about it or not. It's interesting. That's why I said, like, when I listen to it, I take it with a grain of salt, because otherwise you're gonna be like, oh my God, all these horrible things can happen. And they could not happen either. So that's why I don't take it super seriously. I listen to it and I add those kind of concepts to my brain so I can better reason about things when I want to think about it, which I don't want to think about it very often. But when I see these things, I could probably have better reactions if I actually know what they're talking about and know how the process works. So that's why I even watched in the first place. Armando Corral on a plane, about to hit the tarmac. What were we watching? I just want to appreciate all you do. RHMax 100% stake, not selling. Wish me well. Peace. Yeah. Wish you very well, Armando. Wish you very, very well. Hashtag stake it till you make it, mine it till you make it. Publish it till they can't publish it anymore. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Very nice of you to say that. And yeah, I stream. I don't know, because I like to create content, and I like to have these public conversations with you all and interact with the community, and yeah, have utility. I feel like I'm having utility when I'm streaming, so that's why I stream. All right, I'm gonna cover this because I gotta wrap it up. Got a movie to watch. Gonna watch Iron Man 3 if you're interested. I already watched the first two, and I gotta watch the third one now because the trifecta, baby, trifecta. Hexagon Hero Richard set up for 3.6 million, and then tweet when should I do a live stream? Oh, that's I like it. I mean, I don't want that to happen. I don't want him to. I don't know. I'm not gonna say whether I want him to settle or not. I mean, in a perfect world, of course not. And he would win, and they would go down, and he would set a president for crypto, and it'd be great, and industry could move forward, and we get the bull much faster and all that stuff. But I'll agree with your last part. Should I do a live stream? If I ever see him say that again, it's gonna be a very, very glorious day. I have all respect for Maxi, but only been one day after this comment sound I found it. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. First of all, I commented on the interview and said, good job interviewing. Thanks for having it. First of all, it's hard to even have these interviews. As someone who has interviews with people, like setting that up is hard to do in a way that's going to be useful and thorough and stuff. And two, when you're in the interview, it's hard to because you can't force the other person to take the tone that you want them to take. It's just going to go the way it is. So I think he did a good job overall interviewing. It's not easy. I'll say that. Was it perfect? It's not easy. So shout out to Rax for actually having the conversation. A lot of people wouldn't even have that conversation. So, but I get it. If you can, settles if he can. So he can't charge anything. Yeah, I mean, stop the price. I don't think he's going out the fastest way to stop the price suppression, though. That's the thing. I don't think I don't think Richard wants, again, delayed gratification, right? I don't think he's going to take the shortest way to end the pain. He's going to take the best way to set Hex up where it is protected in the future. PulseChain's protected, community's protected, crypto's protected. That may be the tough pill to swallow. I don't know. I hope it goes, everything just works out and the bull market happens and we go up like everything else and even more and all that stuff. But I think Richard's going to do, like, he's not here to make the price go to the moon as fast as he can. I don't believe he's here for that. Would it be nice if it did it? Yes, it would. But I don't think he's here to do that. And I support him if he's going after a bigger vision. So, here you go. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up. I've been going for a bit longer than you wanted to. Why you might not stay around. You find another community, put your time, energy, and capital into. Yeah. You don't want to deal with the drama and infighting. You can't handle extreme volatility. You can't handle RH. You can't handle having no expectations. And toxic RH maximalism. I had to cover that one. I do walk a fine line. I certainly support many community projects, but generally only a handful of them I like to talk about because they make the product better. So if they aren't making Hex or PulseChain or PulseX better, I'm generally not interested. But anyways, all these are okay. Not everyone is going to get rich, and many people do so in other crypto communities. So I like this one. I believe in RH, and I believe he's built things that don't need him. These ideas return to code, and that's what we're using. So Godfather J6, appreciate to see you, man. Catch replay, gang, everyone. That's all I got for you tonight. Hope you have a wonderful evening. I got a lot of shows lined up. I got cryptographics coming on tomorrow around 3 p.m. Eastern. I got, who's coming on Tuesday? I don't remember. Dev Huey coming on Wednesday at some time. I don't remember. And then Axis is coming on Thursday, I believe. Thursday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern, I believe. So catch those shows. Scivive 5555. We are out.